quite the spread.
Let's do the interview just around. You can ask all the questions. And yeah.
All right.
You can start.
Hello, guys. First off, how's your tongue, Xavier?
It's okay. And can we show you this?
Okay.
So I kept trying to like show it to us in the locker room or something.
Actually, I haven't really looked up close. Oh, this is worse than I thought. Well, yesterday, so it, like the wound is closed, which is nice, but here I'm still, I can't try to talk around it. Yesterday, it started, like it was bruised. When I woke up, I could see it was just kind of like black, and you could see the teeth marks in it, so it's healing, but it does not feel good.
Do you like Germany?
Germany's great. Germany's great every time we're here. We actually, we have a tour. We don't do the tour every year now in February, right? But for a while we were doing just a Germany tour. Yeah. But yeah, Germany's awesome. Like I said, I'm slowly working on my German. I'm not very good, but I'm getting there. Picking up some phrases. But I like it. I like Germany.
Yeah, me too. The crowds are just awesome. You know, just love performing from the German crowds. Everyone's just so welcoming and really into the show. You know, so we always look forward to coming here.
And it's always nice to have really good weather. Today, it's a beautiful day.
Oh, man.
I went out and I walked. I went to the mall, got some sushi and Thai with Becky Lynch, and a friend of ours, Anthony, who works here. And it's a lovely day here, and I'm digging Germany. Pretty good.
Have you been to the city before, to Bremen?
Have we not been to Bremen?
I feel like we've been here.
Yeah. We have been here. Yeah. Joe was trying to tell me we hadn't been here before. I blame Joe.
Yeah.
I'm referring to in the recent future, I think. Was what I was
The recent future.
We haven't been here recently. Yeah. Somebody was asking yesterday too. Like I've been on so many tours. Like honestly, I don't even know where we're gonna be tomorrow. I have not looked at the schedule.
Tomorrow's Germany still.
I don't know that like the cities. Like at this point, it's just a matter of getting on the bus and we get to the city that we're at. Hope it's cool, So yeah.
So you didn't really come around with looking around the city? You had any chance?
Walked around a little bit. Yeah.
Not a whole lot,
Okay.
but we just, I didn't realize it was legit right there, so we took the circuitous route. But I also went to the gym. We saw this windmill, actually, that Dasha said was built in the 1600s. I don't know if that's true or not, but a very old windmill. It looked old, but cool. So that was cool. We didn't get to get out and touch it or interact with it, but I want to touch it. Right, to see how, like, if something's like, this is like 400 years old, I want to see what it's made of. I want to get my hands on it. Didn't get a chance to, but I eyed it. Yep.
Yeah. What is gonna happen tonight in your match?
Great question. A lot of shenanigans. We always bring the shenanigans, a lot of nonsense. There'll be some hips just moving about.
That's right.
A lot of hip wiggling. Right. But it'll be a good time. A great time, in fact. So the New Day does. We bring a great time. Bring a lot of joy. A lot of nonsense.
I think one of the main things that differentiates us from not just anyone in the tag division, but anyone on the roster, is that it's our goal to go out and make each other laugh.
It's true.
Because we feel like we've all been wrestling long enough where we got the wrestling part down. We'll go out and we're going to tear it up. We're very confident in that aspect. So at this point, we're just trying to entertain each other because everything else just kind of happens on autopilot. And when we're at these live events, we're trying to make the crowd feel like we do when we're out there. So we want to bring everybody into our little world of fun for like 10 minutes. So if you are there, you can expect to laugh real hard for a real long time.
Yes. Also, one of my goals is to try to get Harper or Rowan to crack as well. Get in their head. Right. I'll just say some things that I know will get to them. And then I'll see. The problem is they have beards, and it's very hard. Sometimes when, like, it's easy when you see me smile. Like I can crack a smile. It's easy to see when you have that beard. It covers it up. But we'll give them a pop, and then that's how we get inside their heads. Once they start giggling, it's acceptable. Right. Right.
Tear the muscles down.
Yeah. The whole gimmick there.
Yeah. especially the wrestling part, I think your matches with the Usos they got very high ratings, so I think you got that down. But how much pancakes can the audience expect?
Do we not have pancakes? We should have pancakes. Harper and Rowan destroyed them all. Yep.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I don't do it pancakes.
Mr. Bootyworth is our chef, and I think he had visa issues. Yeah, getting over here. Because if Mr. Bootyworth can't make the pancakes, we don't want to just give people, just you can buy regular pancakes from the store. We don't want to do that. We want to give you the authentic New Day Bootyworth approved pancakes. So he's having visa trouble. He won't be there today, I don't think, unless his stuff gets cleared up. You guys hear from her at all? Or?
No, Joe,
Joe, hear anything from Mr. Bootyworth?
Unfortunately, no. Nothing right now.
Nothing.
Maybe in the recent future.
Hopefully,
In the recent future,
hopefully he
yes.
makes it.
So, do you know any German words?
Yes, danke, guten Tag.
Yes.
Nein.
Yes.
Du hast mich.
Das gut.
Ah,
Yeah.
yeah. Really good.
Sprechen Sie Deutsch?
Ah,
Do you speak German?
yes.
Good, yeah.
Ausfahrt.
Yeah.
Every time.
Yeah. Very mature.
It's nice.
Yeah, that's a solid collection. That's right.
I'm actually impressed.
Right, I didn't think
That was
for
pretty impressive, yeah.
that. Sure.
You can go on. I'm just
Yeah.
like,
Gotta hydrate.
we're just gonna have a drink first.
You three as a tag team, the New Day, any special opponents you're looking forward to?
Sanity.
I was gonna say, I'm looking forward to Rebel Sanity. See what they got. See what they're made of. Right. They get a lot of. Right. They are. So that's a real good. Cool.
Saturday, yeah, 100%. Especially being that there's like 3 of them. We haven't had a whole lot of opportunity to have like 6-man tag team matches, So anytime we can do that is just awesome. We don't have to, fight to be in the spot to wrestle.
Yeah.
So we're automatically all in. So yeah, Saturday, all in. Wait a minute. So yeah, Saturday.
Yeah, that's one question I always had. How do you do who's fighting and who's on the ringside every time?
So we have a rotation
Okay.
for live events. We have a rotation for television events, and we have a rotation for the pay-per-view events. Sometimes that rotation gets altered due to certain circumstances. So, for instance, for Hell in a Cell, the rotation stated that it was Eve and Kofi. There's no liquid in that glass.
Right.
You gonna finish it with the water and the water?
Sorry, we derailed the conversation.
I'm
One
gonna
second.
the rest of my apple juice.
All right,
So-
so then we'll
That's really German, actually. We
Water.
always do this, like mix water and juice.
Well, standing on it. And so, if one of us really wants to be at a match but it's not our turn, we sit down and we have a discussion and we all talk about, first, selfishly, why we want to be in the match. And then we explain why the other person should be in the match. And we get everything out and then we just talk. Maybe it takes, 10 minutes?
Oh, minutes. Yeah.
So, we had to talk for Hell in a Cell, because like I said, it was these two, and then the way that ended is Kofi graciously gave his position up to me because E and I were developmental with the Usos, and so it's just a cool thing for us to go from developmental to having the first tag team Hell in a Cell match, and so Kofi was very kind in that respect. And so when it came around to Mania, we automatically said Kofi's in, regardless, and then E and I talked. And so then I gave my spot to E, well not my spot, the spot went to E, because I felt it was a better thing for him to be in. We just have these discussions, so there's never any, there's never like an argument or anything, and lots of people think that there's a big match, we're like fighting to see who gets in. It's like, no, we're all out there regardless. But it's always just a very clean, easy thing to do with us.
So you also said that you have been in Germany before, and would you say that wrestling is like getting more and more attention in Germany over the past years? Because like it's not that big as in the US, but do you think like it's getting more attention, or maybe more people on the street are recognizing you?
Yeah, I think it's definitely growing. I think I remember coming to Germany the first few times, maybe 3 or 4 years ago, and it felt like they weren't as familiar with the roster from top to bottom. But now it seems, I don't know if, do we have more TV exposure now? Right, so now we definitely go out, we have our shows, and they know who everyone is, and there's familiarity, and they know like the associated chants, and they're more interactive, and there definitely seems to be a much stronger understanding of the product, which helps us a lot to be able to do our job. We don't have to condition people like, hey, this is what we do. They know automatically as soon as the music hits or the all-town hits, they know what's to come. So I think that helps us tremendously. And it's a lot more fun for us when our audience is very familiar with what we do.
I'm just listening right now because if that's okay with you, I'm gonna do it like after the press conference for like 5 minutes with the microphone. So I'm just here listening to the questions, and then I'm
hydrating. Get
yes. Thank you.
Oh, there's no interview. You just want to come and drink this stuff.
There's the water loose.
All right.
Yeah, I'm gonna skip the next round.
Right now, I think you're on tour with Daniel Bryan and also AJ Styles. How is it for you to work with such wrestling legends, and also like working with Kofi? He's like very decorated in the title. Yeah. How is it to work with him over the last 3-4 years? And yeah, with AJ Styles and Bryan.
It's cool. It's nice to see that this generation of guys and girls that are now on the roster have kind of been accepted by the wrestling community, because I feel like one of the hardest things in wrestling, and in a lot of things I guess, is seeing the guard change from the old guard to the new guard, because people don't really like change. They want to make sure, we still want Stone Cold, we still want The Rock, we still want this, and it's like, and it's hard to let go because that's what we grew up with too, but we all have to understand that now with this new generation of WWE fans, we're who they enjoy and we're who they like to see. So it's very cool to be a part of that, especially with those guys, because like you said, wrestling legends, and especially to be able to be on the team with a guy who's considered in that upper echelon as well. It's the nicest thing, I guess, would be able to say that we can have our names in the same breath as theirs. It's not a weird thing. You know, when you're little kids, for instance, when we would watch the Dudley Boys as kids, like, oh man, Dudley, this is crazy, this is so cool, Dudley's Hardy's, Edge and Christian. And like, we got to go up against the Dudley Boys and like go through tables where people were saying New Day in the same breath as the Dudley Boys. And that's something you don't think will happen, because like those guys are legends, you know? So it's really cool to be a part of wrestling right now. And like I said, with Daniel Bryan and AJ, it's awesome to be in that room.
Yeah, and to like piggyback on that too, like when I first came here, it was unheard of for someone from the Indies, you know, to be on the main roster. So like what you're seeing right now is so special, and like what you're saying, like the industry has come around to realize that there is phenomenal, but talent outside of the realms of WWE. So, you know, we realize that, we bring everybody in. Like, you would have never thought 10 years ago that you would have seen AJ Styles in a WWE ring. It's amazing. You know, Daniel Bryan, even like up until WrestleMania, you didn't even know if you were ever going to see him in the ring again. So now, here he is in Europe, you know, kind of the Daniel Bryan return tour. And it's just awesome, you know, just to be able to like, the fact that the business has come around to recognize talent and continues to do so, like what you're saying, it's a very special time right now.
What would you say is the main difference between a show here in Germany and one in the US?
I think mainly like, even though we're only here a couple of times a year, and even in like the United States, most cities we're only in like 2 or 3 times a year, I still feel like the United States is more spoiled, you know what I mean? Because they get to see us more often. So like when we come overseas, we come to a place like Germany, everyone is just like, it's like you've been waiting for us to get here, and especially with the education of the the WWE universe here, and really kind of broadening out. Like, people not only know what we want to do, what they're supposed to do, but they are like anticipating and excited, and you can't wait till WWE comes back around so that you can chant yes with Daniel Bryan, so you can go out and shake your hips with New Day and clap, you know? I think I don't want to say like it's more special, but it's very special to the overseas and international crowd for us to be live and in person, you know, in front of everybody in an arena. So yeah, we appreciate it. It helps us too, like going out there. It's always better to perform in front of a crowd that wants to be entertained, you know. So it's great to be here.
And if I remember correctly, we were in Germany when our stuff really kicked off. So we were trying to get the whole New Day Rocks thing going, and I think we were wrestling against Cesaro and Tyson Kidd, and it was over here on that overseas tour we started in Germany, where the New Day South thing really kind of took hold. We kind of really leaned into it, and then we got to the Raw or SmackDown, whatever it is, that next week, and people had been doing it in all these countries, and the kind of like videos were out on social media. So when we got to the TV show, people were doing it on TV, and it was like, okay, and so like Germany kind of taught the American fans what to do in that sense. So it was like a chain that kind of started over here that led into over there rather than vice versa. But that's really how we got our kickstart into what we're doing now.
Speaking of chants, let's start over here. I wish over here is the Cesaro.
Oh yeah.
Whoa. So good. I don't know why you never crossed over.
What do you think makes you the greatest tag team of all time?
I think it's really mastering, I think, the blend of wrestling and entertainment. I'm not sure many other teams have done it better. And there's we all obviously all have a great deal of respect for so many of the teams that have come before us, but I think that's the true mark, I think, of a great WWE tag team is, can you do the entertainment stuff, can you do the promos, can you talk, and then can you also really deliver in the matches. And I think for us for a while, I think we had a great run, but I never thought we had like a real iconic feud until we got to do the stuff with the Usos. And that like 4 or 5 month stretch, I thought was awesome from a week to week basis. And not just delivered, everyone talks about, not everyone, but a lot of people talk about the pay-per-view matches, but also I think the week to week segments, the rap battle, which could have been atrocious. That could have been really bad. I think we were like concerned, is this gonna be a train wreck? And then to go out there, and I think the segment was 14 minutes. And I get to the back, and I think Daniel Bryan was one of the first people to stop me and say, that could have been the rest of the show. Legit could have been an hour. And for a guy, you think of him as a wrestling purist and someone who just wants to see, and in many ways he is, but for him to appreciate a segment like that and to want more of it was honestly like a huge pat on the back for us. So I think to go back to your question, I think it's really a matter of doing the in-ring stuff well, having great matches, having memorable feuds, and also being able to do the entertainment stuff, because I think that's important as well. But yeah, there are obviously a lot of great teams that have come before us that we have a ton of respect for. And I obviously too, like I feel like we don't need to toot our own one. It's for people and fans to decide who's the greatest. But I'm really proud of all that we've done, especially because we talk about it often. Is we were 3 guys who were just trying to save our careers. We were floundering 4 years ago, and we were just trying to get back on TV and something that mattered. And to do as much as we have, I always believed in the 3 of us. I realized, and I think we all realized very early on, that we had a ton of chemistry between us. And it was months and months before we even were on TV together, where we started, they allowed us somehow to be on live events together. So we would travel together for months and months. We didn't have a name, we didn't really have a direction. We just worked these tag matches, and we would talk and we would shoot stuff on our own to pitch, but we really built that chemistry just trying to get everything off the ground. And for us to be able to have the longest reign for the tag titles in WWE history at 483 days, for us to be able to have 30-minute Hell in a Cell matches with the Usos, just the amount of things we've been able to do. And not just that stuff, but doing Jimmy Fallon, being able to do stuff outside of the confines of WWE as a trio has been tremendous. When we really look back at our roots and our origins 4 years ago, and thinking, man, like it was such a struggle to even get this off the ground. Like I know we've talked about it in bits and pieces in interviews, but I don't know if we've ever really fully detailed how much of a struggle it was just to get this idea off the ground. And I think it's important to look back and remember that stuff, because it's always, you think of all the good times, but it's important to remember how much of a struggle it was, how difficult it was, and really cherish these two for being there, for the brotherhood we formed. And I also think that makes us one of the greatest tag teams ever, because you always hear, if you read bios and interviews, and a lot of times it's like, oh, those guys seem to be a team on TV, but they actually secretly hated each other, or they never rode together. But to be 4 years in, still have this bond, still like each other, still want to be around each other is pretty special.
I think the most important aspect of what we have that I don't think other people have is that when you look at the three of us, as opposed to looking at a regular tag team, I feel like after you see a team for X amount of years, you start to look at one person more than the other person. And they kind of start to do this. Someone starts to outshine the other, or people like one person more than the other. And I feel like with us, we do we make it such a focus to always be looking at the three of us. There's never one person that we put on a pedestal in a way that separates them from the group. So you'll always see us respect Kofi to the nth degree. Like, he's the man to us, and we see him, he's this living legend. But at the same time, Kofi throws that back at us, and I feel like when people see that kind of stuff at the live events, on television, just how we're willing to sacrifice for each other in order for the group to rise, rather than one of us break away like, oh, I want to be heavyweight champion, so screw those guys. Like, that's not something that's going to happen. It's not something you're going to see with us, and I think that's what really separates us from any other tag team that I don't know that I can remember ever watching.
Yeah, for many fans, wrestling fans, the Attitude Era was one of the greatest. If you had the possibility to wrestle like 25 years ago, would you take the chance or just say, no, this is my era, I'm glad I've been here?
I mean, maybe from the perspective of the money that they made. They made like millions and millions of dollars, and not to say that we don't do pretty well, we do all right, but they made some serious bank. But from the perspective of like where we are now, like everything had to happen exactly the way that it happened. You know, we had to be in this era, and we had to go through the things that we had to go through. I don't think I would change that. You know, honestly, if we're being honest, as far as like match quality is concerned, I feel like this era way outdoes and outshines the Attitude Era in terms of the way the matches and whatnot were put together. You know, you just go back and watch. You know, I'm just saying. You know, I'm not. It is what it is, and obviously the business has changed. I'm not like taking anything away from those guys. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for them. But you know, I feel like we are restricted to a certain rule set. We cannot go out there and do whatever we want. We cannot go out there and, you know, cuss and swear. We have a lot of limitations in what someone call handcuffs. So we really have to think about what we're putting out as far as a match and a story from a week-to-week basis. There's more wrestling on television now than there ever has been. We have the WWE Network on. You know, there's so many just channels that we have to fill. So we really have to make sure that the quality is top notch. Otherwise, everything goes down. So yeah, I think this era, I'm all about the reality era.
Are we still in the reality era?
I don't know.
Okay. Yeah,
Are we?
I don't know.
Right, just yeah. But I think one thing that, like Kofi said, everything has to happen the way that it happened for this to be going down right now. One of the reasons that I feel like we've been successful is because we are products of the Attitude Era. So we watched all of those guys and girls and how awesome they were. But I I feel like the ones that stood out to, like, let's say Stone Cold, I feel like a lot of people that got into wrestling because they watched that era wanted to be like that. Everybody wants to be the badass, and everybody wants to be the cool guy. And so since there's so many different variations of that in this era, there was no one doing what we were doing. And so we figured if everyone's turning left, what happens if we turn right? And we did, and the road was completely open, and there's literally no one in our way. So we immediately just fell into this scenario where we could be funny, ridiculous, outlandish. We got to somehow started wearing the unicorn horns, and now we're throwing out pancakes. We got a trombone. Like, none of that was on anybody's mind. Everybody was in this era of like destruction. It's like, that's perfect. But it's a variety show, and that part of it was missing. And so the fact that we were able to kind of slide it under the radar, and then once everybody realized, like, oh, this is hilarious, like we'd already sunk our teeth in and kind of guard that spot on the show as our own when we see somebody else doing funny stuff. Rather than, we don't go to people like, hey, funny's our thing. We just see someone doing something entertaining, and so then that's when we kind of check ourselves, like, okay, not that our stuff isn't, like we don't always try to make it on point, but we make sure, no, this is our deal. We gotta make sure it's top notch at all times.
So, do you know if the show today is sold out?
Ooh, Joseph.
I think there's still tickets left for it.
Tickets still available.
Get him mother.
Maybe toughest injury? I know about your tongue. Something other?
That's a good question. I actually have been injury-free in WWE. I had herniated discs 7 years ago. You better not. Nah. I ain't not. Wow. Nice. That's because I got all my injuries out before.
Don't say that. You don't know. You're not a baseball bat.
We'll see. But yeah, so I broke my kneecap in college. That was horrible. Yeah, unless you're waving out the window.
Well, there was someone saying, you could talk to them.
The friendly people.
Yeah, I was in honestly. Yeah, it was.
Saying hello.
I was moving on. What?
Out?
Oh, that suit.
Nice suit. Yeah, what's your worst?
Worst? I mean, I've been pretty much injury-free, with the exception of 2 surgeries. I had bone chips removed from my elbows, both of them. And then last year I had bone chips removed from my ankle, which honestly, like, it wasn't that bad. I got to be home for like a month and a half on both times, which was awesome. You know, the first time my son had just been born, and the second time, you know, 2 kids and my wife, so we got to spend some time at home. It was kind of like one of the better injuries to have. You know, if I could pick, that'd probably be a good injury to have. But yeah, I tore the cartilage in my rib kicking out of a pin. That was awful. Because I took no time off, and it was something where, like, actually it still like sticks out. And it was like every time I would breathe in, or like I'd be so scared to sneeze because it would just be so painful for like maybe like a month, 2 months. I had to roll to my side and like push myself out of bed and still go out. The doctor's like, well, you know, there's not really anything we can do about it. It's just gonna heal on its own. So all right, I guess I'll keep wrestling, you know. So that was pretty painful.
I didn't know this. Who's that with?
Swagger, I think. Heavy on the pin.
Heavy on everything. Heavy on everything.
I think mine was probably, I don't know if it's the worst, but it's like the grossest. It was Access in NXT. And I was wrestling, it was still Leo Kruger at the time, so Adam Rose kicked me in the face and put my 2 front teeth flat up against my gums and broke my gum. And so we ended the match